is Fred Glick. I am the CEO and founder and chief bottle washer of Arrivva Inc. And we are licensed in the states of Washington, California, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Georgia currently. I basically have been in the mortgage world since Jimmy Carter was president and real estate brokerage since Bill Clinton was president.
Right.
So that'll give you an idea how long it's been.
Right.
I had brokerages in Philadelphia, had a real brokerage with agents where I was babysitting people, and I moved to California, and it kind of turned all around. And what I figured out is it cost me the same amount of time and money to do a $500,000 loan as it did a $9 million loan. So I came up with the idea of just, hey, let's just do a fixed fee. And guess what? I'll give back the rest of the buyer broker fee, which was 2.5%, 3%. So it just made a lot of sense. We have a unique proposition when we sell a house. We have a flat fee, again, of $15,750. But in addition to that money, what we do is we order the home inspections, termite, whatever inspection we need, sewer. We've even done a structural cert, and we pay for them. Again, we don't have agents we need to pay out 80% commissions to. So we take the money and we invest it in the property. So once we get all those inspections back, that's when we meet with the homeowner and say, look, okay, the inspection said we should be doing this and this and this. And by the way, let's think about how to make it pretty. We're gonna paint this room, put in new floors here, whatever's involved. We try and help them secure the right contractors. There's companies out there that will do the work and then charge you at closing. There's people have their own people. It just matters, and also timing's important. And then we also figure out on the inspection, are we going to do this or are we just going to disclose it? So if there's like a massive crack underneath the house that it's going to fall apart, we probably want to get that fixed before we sell the property. We don't want to sell it as is because you'll get your money back and then some. So once we've made it completely done of anything we got to do, the next thing we do is we come in and pay for a thorough house cleaning, windows, whole 9 yards, make it smell nice, make it look nice. Then we actually pay for staging, which is, again, something nobody else does because we're not paying out the big commission. Or we do what's called digital staging from a 3D Matterport. And then, the place is beautiful and gorgeous and you're ready to actually start showing it. So we then put it in the MLS, but when we put it in the MLS, we do it with the owner on a Google Meet or a Zoom, because we make that into a podcast.
Oh.
So as we go through the MLS, each line, he or she can then talk about, oh yeah, I replaced that dishwasher because of blah, 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 blah. And I bought this one because, it's the new kind that does super cleaning and eighth of the, whatever. So they can fully describe what's going on. It's kind of neat to hear it right from the owner say what they're going to do or what they've done. So then we admittedly will use AI to write the description. So no more of welcome to 123 Main Street or
a must see.
A must see. Yeah.
Well, go fast.
Or yes. Oh God. But we don't make it that they look like AI. I mean, lately this week we were using Claude, but who knows, next week we might be back to something else, but then we just clean it up and make it more inviting. We prepare a website for each property, which is going to have the disclosures, the inspections. We are currently using what a lot of people use in California, Northern California especially, a website called disclosures.io, where people put their offers in there. They put in some generic typed in stuff, and it all then goes into a spreadsheet, so it's easy to read and see what the offers are. And they also upload all the documents. What we do with everybody is we start off with a Google Meet, and we go through all the criteria, anything that could happen, everything they need to be prepared for. Like I was mentioning, the fully underwritten pre-approval. And then we work with a buyer broker contract that is non-exclusive, even in Texas, realtors. And then once we have that all signed, you start like Slack me the Redfin link of the property you're going to go visit. We'll go pull the inspections and the disclosures if they're in there. Any agent to agent notes, which is another reason why you can't buy a house yourself. There's a lot of barriers to that. And I'm not just saying it because, oh, I'm an agent and I want the commissions. No, there's actual barriers. So we work out a Slack channel. So you go to the open house, we find out when the offer date is, you go and get your fully underwritten pre-approval and your proof of funds for the down payment. You put it in the Slack chat, and we prepare the whole contract for you. And it works out like that, and we discuss it. We have these. Rene is up late, so he's chatting with people at 10, 11 at night. I'm asleep, but I get up at 6, so I pick it up in the morning. So it's the Slack channel that's a beautiful thing. We don't have to have phone calls. We can do huddles in Slack, which is great. So that's kind of the way it works as a buyer. And we just keep working until you find a house.
Right. And if there's not an open house, you just coordinate with someone to show them.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not me or Renee, then we either talk to the listing agent who may have a team or they're able to show it. Or worst case, we hire a licensed agent to literally open the door and say hi. And what we do with that too is we say, look, get us on a video chat, because we're in Washington State and somebody goes to see a property in Seattle and they have questions, so they're right on the video with us. So it's like being there.
Right. It seems more like would you describe it this way? Like you are for people that want advisement but don't really need their hand held.
Yeah.
They're like serious about it, right? Like they kind of have the gist. They just don't need you to be up their butt 24/7,
Right. And somebody who maybe is relocating from London, never been to the States, gets a job in LA. Yeah, we can help them, but we're not going to run around with them. And an agent who drive around with them, kind of show them things, is probably they're better off with them. So yeah, those are the two kinds of people: the handholders and the I have no idea where I want to live people. Because most of our people, they know. So we take a flat fee of $9,750, regardless of price, at the time of close of escrow. Anybody wants money from you up front, run as fast as you can away from them. So there's basically 3 ways to get the money. The first way is we get the buyer broker fee at the close of escrow, and then we just take our fee out, wire you the difference. Simple, easy. Second way, and we've used this a lot, is that you get that money to use as part of your offer. So we can reduce, let's say you want to offer $1 million and there's $50,000 of buyer broker fees still available. We say, look, let's make the offer for $950. Now you're going to mortgage less. The seller's going to pay less transfer tax and title insurance and things like that. Everybody wins. And your real estate taxes get based on usually what the sale price is. So your real estate taxes could have a savings. So that's the second way of doing it. The third is we can use it towards mortgage applicable closing costs. Let me put it that way. Each lender's a little different. Well, they're pretty much the same, but you can buy points. You can buy points for a 2-1 buy down. The interesting thing is if you use our buyer broker rebate for points, which are tax deductible, in essence, you haven't paid for this tax deduction, which is awesome. You can't get a better tax deduction than that because it's not costing you anything for it.
Right.
So those are the 3 major ways to use the rebate money. Context. That's the only word that matters in everything with a real estate transaction. Just know everything that you could possibly know to make a decision. And you may not get that from the agent. You might need to get it from somebody outside, but that's all we deal in is context. We love it.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I can tell people. The whole industry was built in a certain way. It all revolved first around money. Look how much money you're going to make. And so all these franchises had to, in their franchise agreement, hire a certain amount of people every quarter in order for them to keep their franchise. So that's why, your nail salon technician had a real estate license, because the Keller Williams manager came in and, oh, you should get your license. And they realize they're going to get one deal a year probably from them. So, and that they're making a higher percentage. So they're making money on people. They offer mortgage, they do escrow, whatever. And, you know, the whole thing came tumbling down on that date. And the fact that they were hiding what a buyer broker made came down on that date. The whole model just disappeared, and they weren't ready, and nobody's ready, and nobody's still ready. I still get all these emails. You need to be prepared and have your value, you know, blah, blah, blah. And
Yep. Show your value. Show your value.
I have plenty of value. And by the way, let me just say, I am not proudly a member of the National Association of Realtors. You can operate. There are some roadblocks, like in the state of Texas, you cannot get on the MLS unless you're a realtor.
I'm sure that'll change.
It's like, yeah, it has to change because it's a restraint of trade, really. But yeah, I haven't seen any value of that in years. I used to be a member years ago. I was on boards in Pennsylvania. I was actually the national representative for NAR for Senator Arlen Specter.
Oh.
If you've lived in Pennsylvania long
you're
enough,
in I do.
Yeah. Arlen, great guy, is in Philadelphia. So I had met him a couple of times, and so they didn't have anybody else. So they said, hey, you want to do it? Sure. So met with his staff a couple of times about some issues. I can't even remember what it was. It was back in like the 2000s or the 90s or something like that. But, you know, it was still, it was a social club. Let's have this thing. And that's all these things really amount to. And mortgage guys having seminars, bringing all the real estate agents, it's just, you're all wasting your time. I mean, I don't get it. You know, here's the way to do it right, learn a little bit. You know, you have the right broker will tell you, you don't need to go to all this junk. All they're trying to do is sell you stuff. Here's the process. There's nothing new. Like all of a sudden, swing loans, bridge loans are something new. Really, I was doing those 30 years ago.
Right.
You know, and the buy before you sell things like, wow, it's a miracle. No, it's not. It's easy.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we just have to have the lenders to do the program. So
Right.
I'm old, I'm boring, but my one vocation after having retired as a ice hockey goalie, I cycle now. I e-cycle. I have to differentiate that because the real cyclists get all pissy at the e-bikers. But you know what? Hey, I'm going to get to hills that I've never, ever been able to get to because of the e-bikes. I love them.
Yeah.
They're absolutely fabulous. I love Slack. I've been living in it. God, I've been using it since like 2015, 14, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it works really well.
That's going to be nice too for your buyers and sellers to have all of your conversations in one. And
all the documents. Everything is saved. So if a state calls us and they want to see the Smith file, it's like, okay, just download it. Here we go. Right. Here's every conversation we've had, and here's all the documents that went with it.